Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. It's time to review the latest film in the Evil Dead series. That's right, it is Evil Dead Burn! Yeah!
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the Horror Miser Money G. Now, Evil Dead Burn is a 2026 American supernatural horror film that was directed by Sebastian Vanacek. It was written by Sebastian Vanacek and Florent Bernard. Now, the film stars Sahia Yacom, Tandy Wright, Hunter Duhan, Lucene Buchanan, and I think it's Errol Shand. Shand, I think it's how you pronounce his last name. Now, in this film, after the loss of her husband, a woman seeks solace with her in laws. As one by one they're transformed into deadites, she discovers that vows that she took in life survive even in death. Oh no! Should have gotten to know the family better. Now, horror fans, when it comes to horror franchises, one of them has become very popular in the horror community, and that is the supernatural horror series, The Evil Dead. Created by filmmaker Sam Raimi back in 1981 with the film called The Evil Dead, the series has grown exponentially with 5 films, a TV series, comic book, video games, and believe it or not, a musical. Just imagine Deadite singing. Now, in the premise in all these films is that we have a group of people trying to survive a nightmare after someone in the group reads an incantation from an ancient text called the Necronomicon, or Book of the Dead, unleashing demonic beings called Deadites. You know, when you see a book that says don't read from it, you don't read from it, but they still do it. Now, the film has received generally positive reviews from movie critics, and the films have grossed over $300 million worldwide. So, this is, while not one of the most successful franchises, horror fans continue to love this series. Because I love it too. So, French filmmaker Sebastian Vanacek brings us his latest project and the 6th installment in this series. This one is called Evil Dead Burn. Now, after a very long prologue where we see a certain Deadite from the previous film kill 2 fishermen, we see Joseph Price celebrating his birthday with his girlfriend Thea, his brother William, and William's wife Alice at William's restaurant. Everything's nice and dandy, too. After getting into a heated argument with Alice, William drives off in a drunken rage and then runs into that certain Deadite, causing a serious car accident. Now, the Deadite, after saying they have found him, recites the incantation from the Book of the Dead and burns William alive in the car. Evil Dead Burn. So after the funeral, where we meet Susan and Edgar Price, Williams and Joseph's parents, along with their grandmother Polly, who decide to have a nice get together family dinner with Thea and Alice. Unfortunately, weird shit happens throughout the dinner, and as we see that the Deadites have possessed both Edgar and Thea, who are looking for a weapon that can kill Deadites, and they believe that Joseph has found that weapon. I wonder what that weapon could be. You know, when watching this film, I would have to say that this film is very gory and very nasty, as Sebastian doesn't hold back on the violence that the family does to each other in this particular film. Yes, I would have to say that this is the goriest film in the franchise so far. Now, I mean, we've seen plenty of blood and practical effects in all the films, especially in the last 2 films, but in all the films, whether it's The Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, and then, of course, like I said, Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise, this film is very brutal, violent, and gory, but it's not bloody like we saw in the previous 2 films. I mean, there's blood, but it's not as much blood as we saw in Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. So that's one thing that is this film is missing is the blood. Now the film is paced nicely at times, and Sebastian does a good job when it comes to the home that the Prices have here, which is where a bulk of the film takes place. It's a very old-looking, pale and comfy-looking home, quite a quite different contrast to the apartment building that we saw in the last film. There are plenty of Easter eggs that Sebastian puts in this particular film, as we see in the beginning part of the film and some of the journals Joseph was reading. I won't say what they are, but if you spot them, I'm pretty sure you saw a nice smile on your face. Now, the one thing that Sebastian failed to do in this film is to make the audience care about the crisis, as none of them are likable enough for the audience to root for any one of them in the film. They're all bad people here. I mean, Joseph, he's kind of a wimp and he's too scared to confront William. Both Susan and Edgar never really did like Alice. She could not bond with them, and William had anger issues, especially when it comes to Alice. So they're really not any good people in this family whatsoever. I mean, I guess we're supposed to care about Alice, but Sebastian and his writing partner, Florence Bernard, they didn't give Alice any type of character development to make the audience cares enough about what happens to her. She's just there. She plays the role very well. I mean, we kind of feel sorry for her, but we don't get enough about Alice to make us care enough to see what's happening to her. No, so here at Yakum, I mean, she's okay as Alice, and she does her best to make Alice a decent final girl. But the script doesn't give her that much to work with here. Like I said, she's just the average final girl that we've seen in any other horror film. I mean, one of the reasons why Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise work so well is because we care about Maya and her friends. And we love the sister dynamic between Ellie and Beth and Evil Dead Burn, and especially Ellie's children. We really did care what happened to the children when they get possessed by the Deadites. We don't get the same feeling here. So when the family starts getting possessed by the Deadites, we simply don't care. We don't have the same feeling as we had in Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. I mean, I really thought the third act dragged on a bit too long, and it really didn't add anything to a story other than just showing more gore. It's like we see this confrontation take place, but it really doesn't add anything. There's no stakes involved. We really don't care what's happening to Alice at all, but it's just there, and it was quite unnecessary to me. It kind of add an extra 15 to 20 minutes that the film didn't need to have. Not what I really did enjoy what Sebastian did in his first film, that was 2023's Infested. If you didn't see it, please see it. That was a pretty good film. It seems to me he was more concerned about the gore and practical effects over character development in his second film, Behind the Camera. Now, I'm sure the gore hounds will love this one, and for me, despite the flaws this film has, it's still an effective supernatural horror film and a nice entry in the franchises, but for me, it's just not as good as Evil Dead and Evil Dead Rise. So, I'm going to get Evil Dead Burn 3 out of the Miser's 5 bloody coins. Yes, like I said before, despite some of the flaws this film have, I really did enjoy the film. Very, very brutal, very, very gory. Doesn't have the same type of family dynamic that I was hoping for that we got in the previous two films, but I still enjoyed watching the film. So there you have it, horror fans. That is my review and video for Evil Dead Burns. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, like, and share. It really helps out with the YouTube algorithm. What are your thoughts? Did you enjoy Evil Dead Burns? Leave your comments in your comment section below. Tell your thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos like this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as a Horror Miser Monty G, and always remember, horror rules. I see you in my next video. You guys stay safe out there.